OPTIBOSS.
Woo! I'd like to welcome everyone back to the OPTIBOSS YouTube channel. For those your first time, welcome. For those that are coming back to get the rest of the tutorials on how to trade and barter, here we are. We got a ton of good stuff to talk about today, so we'll get right down to it. But first, we're going to talk a little bit about where and how you post ads online. That's probably the number one thing I get questions on. And so there's a couple really key factors that we need to pay attention to. So the number one thing when I talk to people about posting ads is when you got to know where to post it. So I'm originally from Utah. Well, that's where I started my trading career. And in Utah, there's actually a couple different sites that you can use. Obviously, there's Craigslist. Wherever you are in the world or in the United States, there is Craigslist. So that's probably going to be your number one best bet. However, for Utah, there's a little bit better website called KSL.com. That's a great site. Check it out. Their classified section is the best classified section I've ever come in contact with. Just the way they have it set up, it's easy to use, fun to use. So check it out. And that's KSL.com. All right. So a couple things what makes a good ad versus a bad ad. That's important. There's a lot of really good items out there that have terrible ads that nobody ever sees. So one of the most important things you need to do first, there's 4 things I'm going to teach you here. The first one is you need to have a good title to your ad. So what does a title do? It explains what you want to do with your item. So a lot of people say in the title of the ad, I have a car for sale, want, gone, all this, that, and the other. But what I like to do is in my ads, I like to put what the item is. I usually use capitalized letters. I know that's kind of obnoxious to some people, but it really works. I don't use all capitals or anything like that, but I'll usually put in the very first thing I'll put in my ad is I'll write trade, exclamation point, exclamation point. Put it in the very beginning so people know that's what you're there to do. And then I'll put the name of the item, and then I'll put open to all offers. So that's the first thing for the title. You got to have a good title. You got to make it look appealing. Make sure you're spelling it right. Make sure that you're capitalized. You're all nice and neat so that it just looks nice. And then you also want to make sure, this is the most important thing about posting ads, is you have to have a picture. It's better to have a bad picture than no picture, but it's better to have a really good picture than a bad picture. I have spent a ton of time when I post my ads, I make sure without a doubt that I have a good picture on there. A picture sells the product or trades the product. So remember that. There's times I've driven my cars in front of country clubs, up at beautiful views that look across the valley with the sunset in the background, just to get the right picture to sell the car, the motorcycle, what it may be. And I'll show you some examples of some of the pictures I've used to post my ads. So here's a couple examples. The Harley Davidson I had was awesome. This picture really helped it. Here's a picture of a Yukon I had. So just remember, a good picture is really important. And so the third thing is you want to make sure that the content of your ad summarizes the idea of what you want across. Short, simple, and sweet. Don't go on and on and on and on. That's what a phone call's for, or that you say, if you want to know more, come talk to me. If you put all this stuff in the ad, people are going to go, that's too much. Believe me, big, long ads are not the way to sell things. You don't sell it through just talking or through typing. You got to talk to the person and let them know. Because once they hear your excitement about your product or your car or your item, they're going to be excited about it as well. So also another thing that I like to write in my ad, I'll put an example of an ad right here, and you can check it out. But it's very important to make sure that you have good contact information in your ad. I know that we're in the century where people are always worried about their identity being stolen and giving their phone number out and stuff like that. But honestly, I always put my phone number on every single one of my ads, and I don't necessarily put my email address. You're more than welcome to. That's probably the safer bet, because usually it's required and it's automatically included. So if they email you through the service that you're using, it'll automatically come to you. So you don't necessarily need to put that. But I always put my name, my phone number, and my email address. That way people can get a hold of me. And one specific thing that I always write in my ad is contact me night or day, shoot me a text. I always write text is best. That's the way I usually communicate with people, is via text, because that way you have a record of all your dealings with them. And that way you can always if you need to go back, you can always have those records. So contact information is really, really important. Other stuff I always put in my ads when I'm trading is I make sure that I have put a couple of ideas of things that I'd like to trade. I'll always say, dig through your closet, your attic, your garage, your shed, your basement. Find something that you don't use anymore, and let's make a deal. I know I've said that in a couple other videos, but that's really, really important, because people need to understand that they're getting rid of something that they don't use anymore that you really want. So that's a key to trading up. So my challenge for you, I guess, would be is to go right now, or after this video is over, go find something in your house. Go dig through your attic, your garage, your shed, your basement, your closet. Find something you don't use anymore, and then write an ad for it. Take a little bit of time on your ad. It's better to take a little bit more time on your ad to make sure it's nice. You have a good picture. You have good contact information. You have good, you have good a universal. When someone's going to look at you, you want to make sure that they're going to want what you're posting. A bad ad is the worst. But sometimes it's better when there's a bad ad when you're looking for deals. But we'll talk about that later. But so yeah, go find that and post it, and we'll see what happens. And another topic we're going to talk about today is passive and aggressive trading. So to put it simply, passive trading is somebody that's just they don't have a lot of time. They're always out and about doing stuff. And so what they'll do is they'll just post an ad. And I've done this sometimes when I'm really busy with work, or I'm busy traveling a lot and stuff like that. I just don't have time to be around. And so I'll post an ad and I'll wait for people to come to me with contact information. The opposite of that is aggressive trading. This is what I usually do. And when I have the time, I like to do it this way because it just speeds up the process of trading up a lot faster. Is what you're going to do is you're going to go into Craigslist or KSL or any of those sites, and you're going to be searching out those deals. And there's a couple keywords and a couple things that can help you speed up the process, because there's thousands of ads, and it's impossible to go through all of them. But what I like to do is, here's a couple keywords. Okay, so in your search box, when you're looking for an item, you want to put in barter, obviously. Type in barter, see what pops up, see what other people are bartering. Or they might also say, I have these things that I like to get rid of. Type in trading, type in moving, must sell, want gone. All of these are very, very good ways to find people that just no longer need the items. Moving is a really good example of one that I've done. I typed in moving, must sell. And this is right in the very beginning of my trading career. And I put, I was spinning the wheels in my head a little bit. I was like, man, I got to find someone that's wanting to trade. And I was like, man, if someone's moving, they're obviously not going to have a lot of time to get rid of something. I typed that in. I scrolled down through all these things, looked through tons of ads, and there was one that was like a month and a half old, an ad that had been up forever. I opened it up, and it was actually for a boat. And I was like, this is cool. This would be a sweet item to trade for. But I was like, he's probably already moved or something. But I kept reading through his ad. It was kind of long. And I looked, and it said, must be gone by, I think it was like, I don't remember. It was winterish. He's like, must be gone before spring because I'm moving. So I was like, I'll text this guy. And I didn't really know what I had to trade, but I was thinking through about some of the items that I had. And I knew that I had a gift card from a wedding. And it was a great gift card, but we just never used it yet. And so I texted this guy and I was like, hey, I have this gift card that I need to trade. And I'm not going to use it. And, you're more than welcome to check to make sure it's valid and all that information. And so I texted him. He's like, you know what? I need to get rid of my boat immediately because I'm moving up to Montana tomorrow. And I was like, okay, well, I have a gift card. Would you be willing to trade? And he's like, we went back and forth for a little bit. And he's like, well, could you add some cash? And I was like, no, I'm really not interested in doing that. And he's like, well, you know what? Come on out. He lived about an hour away. He lived in, I don't remember, Saratoga Springs or something like that in Utah. And I drove out there, and he had this old property, and he had this big barn, and it was pretty cool. And he had his moving van there, and he was ready to go. And he was literally waiting for me till he could go. I showed up. I gave him the gift card, and the gift card was worth $200, so it was worth quite a bit. But then we went, and he opened up this barn, and there was this nice boat inside. I mean, it wasn't perfect. It needed some work and stuff like that, but it was awesome, and I was super, super excited. And he's like, you know what? I would never have done this deal before, but I have to get rid of it. I'm moving. I can't take it with me. And so we made a deal immediately. He gave me the title, and I was very, very excited about that. Here's a picture of that boat. So just kind of an idea to get your wheels spinning. You know, look for those keywords. Keywords are very important. Be an aggressive trader. Get in there and do stuff. Don't wait for the offers to come to you all the time, because if you wait, you know, it's going to take forever to trade up. I mean, from that boat, I went on and on and on to trade up and up and up, and it was awesome. It was a great experience. So check it out. That's going to wrap up our video for today. But if you have any comments, I'm going to be doing a question and answer within the next 2 videos, either the next one or the following video. And so I'd like to include your questions and comments in there. Please like my video, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later. Thanks a lot.
OPTIBOSS.